Hey there guys, what's up? It's me, Harry Sandberg, back here with a brand new video, and the Snyder Cut of Justice League was one of the highly talked about parts of DC Fandome. Snyder revealed that his cut, debuting in 2021, will be split into 4 parts, each 1 hour long. After taking a look back at the original trailer for Justice League, today I'll be breaking down the new trailer released, going over details you may have missed, shots that look completely different from the theatrical cut, and even how the song chosen for the trailer holds greater meaning than some would think. And spoiler warning, just in case any of my theories or predictions turn out to be true. So, let's get started.
Now I've heard there was a secret chord.
Okay, immediately we're met with the image of Darkseid, who is essentially DC's version of Thanos. Or more specifically, Marvel ripped off the character of Darkseid and then made Thanos, but that's a whole entirely different thing. Now, in the comics, Darkseid is the ruler of Apocalypse, an ecumenopolis with burning fire pits. He is a merciless tyrant who demanded unwavering devotion and abject fear from all his subjects. And notice the Omega symbol on his chest, the same symbol we see in the Nightmare sequence of Batman vs Superman carved into the floor, and what we will see later on in the trailer. Now, Darkseid's ultimate goal is to take control of the anti-life equation, a transcendental mathematical formula originally said to allow those who knew it to dominate the will of any sentient race. We also see here that Darkseid is wielding some sort of axe-like weapon. Now, in the comics, he prefers not to use his gloves in combat unless provoked, and instead uses Omega beams. Ray beams that could disintegrate, teleport, or restructure depending on the Dread Lord's wishes. Now, this being a flashback, he doesn't seem to have this ability. Yet. Now, as we see here, this is the setting of the war where the Amazonians, Atlanteans, humans, and gods came together to stop the unity of Mother Boxes, which housed the soul of Hegra, Steppenwolf's sister and mother of Darkseid. Or Uxis, or Uxis as he probably would have been called here. Now, this sequence is rumored to be 20 minutes long, giving us a more extensive look at the battle, with extra scenes involving Zeus and Green Lantern. You may also notice the framing of this trailer is shown in the IMAX ratio 1:43:1, which was meant to, as Snyder explained, frame the comic book inspired imagery in a more vertical oriented shape to better show top to bottom action. Now, the song here is Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, which, as I will cover throughout this breakdown, lines up perfectly with a few of these images. On to the next clip.
That David played, and it pleased the Lord.
Here we have another angle of Superman's death from Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice. We can see the hand of Doomsday clutched around his waist and the green glow of the kryptonite spear removed from Doomsday's chest. The lyric, that David played and it pleased the Lord, is probably a biblical reference to David and Goliath, the story of a young shepherd who sets out on a quest to defeat the evil tyranny of a giant Philistine who is bent on becoming the one and only power. This is similar in the case of this scene, with Superman being David, slaying the dreaded Doomsday, who would be Goliath. Now, it is said that this could be the opening sequence of the first episode of the Snyder Cut, with Superman pushing the kryptonite spear into Doomsday, lots of energy coming off of Doomsday's body, and gravity being screwed up. So this is essentially a retelling from a certain perspective. Snyder also said that we'll see Batman lowering his kryptonite grenade launcher after witnessing Superman's sacrifice, essentially saying that before he made his sacrifice, Batman saw him as an enemy and a threat, but after seeing that he sacrificed his life to save everyone, that he is truly the hero that they need. On to the next clip.
But you don't really care for music, do you?
There are a few missable details here, including Wonder Woman's shattered shield, Aquaman's 3-pronged trident that he gets in Aquaman, and a portrait of Thomas Wayne. We then see a Joker playing card blow by, the same one Batman had on his gun in the Nightmare sequence from Batman vs Superman. And I like how the S in Justice is lit, showing how Superman is essentially the key to this dark future and that saving Lois is the way to prevent it, which is what Flash means when time traveling back to warn Bruce in this scene here. We then see a bunch of parademons flying over the Omega symbol in Metropolis with the lyric, "You don't really care for music, do ya?" reflecting how despite the best efforts to do something, it may end differently than anticipated, kind of like how maybe Bruce's formation of the Justice League may lead to nothing but desolation. On to the next clip.
It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah.
Okay, here we see Diana in the Temple of Athena with the arrow shot from Themyscira after Steppenwolf's invasion and retrieval of one of the mother boxes, which was shown in the theatrical cut. Notice the outfit here is the same outfit she wears in the first teaser for the Snyder Cut, where she first learns of Darkseid as she is exploring the temple. And maybe this could lead into the history of Darkseid and into the battle I talked about earlier. We then see Bruce looking at a hologram of Superman, with the lyric here being "the minor fall, the major lift." This is referencing how Superman fell, but it was only for a temporary or minor time, while Bruce lifts from his fears of Superman being a threat, and instead being the one who the Justice League needs. We then see Arthur Curry walking towards the sea, which was shown in the first trailer but never really expanded upon in the theatrical cut. And notice how the lyric "the baffled king" is played over this section, which is essentially at this time in the DCEU what Aquaman is. A man who does not want to fulfill his true destiny and instead confused about his role. On to the next clip. The chorus begins to play as we see Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, playing football for Gotham City University. This is a flashback that will be shown in the Snyder Cut and will also show how Victor became injured. Snyder did say that Cyborg was the heart of his story and the member of the team who essentially kept the team together. And then we get this great shot of Superman emerging from the Kryptonian ship in his black suit. Now, there was a shot released earlier with the exchange between him and Alfred, but instead of him in his red and blue suit from the theatrical cut, it is instead changed to the black suit. The black suit in the comics, which is often referred to as the regeneration suit during the reign of Superman, was designed to heal the hero. When Kal-El revived in a regeneration pod in the Fortress of Solitude, his powers were diminished. The regeneration suit was built to more aggressively absorb the radiation of a yellow sun in order to heal Superman and regenerate his godlike powers. Snyder actually did tease this during Superman's funeral with his casket colors back in Batman vs Superman. On to the next clip. Here we get another shot of Diana saving the kids in the museum, greeting this little girl with a smile. This shot actually has significance because it shows just how much Diana is a symbol and a role model for young girls. Next up is one of my favourite shots from this trailer, which is Barry running to save Iris West, played here by Kiersey Clemons. We get these cool shots of everything just frozen in time. I actually like that the hot dog stand is flying away here and the vendor's just in shock, wondering what the heck just happened. You can also notice here that Barry's shoes and socks are nowhere to be found, meaning that he ran so fast that his shoes and socks just burnt off. And this exploding car sends sparks flying, symbolizing the relationship between both Barry and Iris, most likely going to be shown here more or in the upcoming Flash movie. On to the next clip.
I did my best. It wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth. I didn't come to fool you.
Here we see a shot of Cyborg digging up a grave. Now it is most likely his father's grave, seeing as we'll see later on, he sacrifices himself to destroy one of the mother boxes. Or maybe even his own grave, but in both contexts, looking for something. Batman is posing on the Grim Reaper gargoyle on the rooftop of the GCPD, which is actually a reference to issue 682 of Detective Comics featuring Batman. This was another shot in the theatrical cut that was really unfocused and had this weird plastic thing waving in the frame, ruining the dark and mysterious nature of Batman with a gag. Notice how the line, "I did my best, it wasn't much," goes over images of both Cyborg and Batman here. Maybe showing how these two heroes, who lost their parents, are using their deaths to motivate them to be better. We then see Lois and Martha Kent embrace with the lyric, "I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch," playing over it, which could reflect how they aren't truly believing Kent is gone and consoling in one another. We then see Aquaman's 5-pronged trident with armor next to it. Maybe this could be the scene where he and Volko have an exchange with Aquaman suiting up for battle. And then we see him backing out into the water after the Steppenwolf confrontation, which we saw in the theatrical cut. And then this great shot of Darkseid leading his forces, which in the theatrical cut was actually Steppenwolf. Zack Snyder has said that in these shots, Darkseid is just a baby, hinting to his full strength later on. On to the next clip. Here we get our first shot of Desaad. Now Desaad is one of the followers of Darkseid from the planet Apokolips and serves as Darkseid's master torturer. We then get this shot of Cyborg walking, almost limping with the Flash behind him, with Cohen singing And Even Though It All Went Wrong. Noticing the event screen in the background, it looks as though a conflict has taken place. This looks to be Star Labs, and maybe this is after a confrontation with Steppenwolf and his father's death happening in this same instance, and the explosion sending Cyborg back into this screen. And if you notice, as Cyborg is limping towards where his father died, you see a single teardrop drop from his face. We then see Superman floating over Metropolis after his resurrection, with a quick cut to Lois looking up at him in both sadness, because you know, the man just died, and awe, because he's back. Now there are reports that Superman's resurrection could also bring the accidental death of Lois, which will then send him on the dark path, and thereby causing the dark future that we saw in Batman vs Superman. This will then cause Barry to go back in time and warn Bruce about the future that I mentioned earlier, and how Lois is the key to preventing it. And then we get the shot of Silas Stone sacrificing himself in an attempt to destroy the Mother Box, with Silas almost disintegrating, kind of like how Dr. Manhattan was created in Watchmen, which was another project that Snyder worked on. As the laser begins to hit the box, we then see that his hairline starts peeling off, his skin and his nose begins to bleed. We then see Steppenwolf behind Cyborg begging his father to stop, but in the end, it's too late. The lyric, "With nothing on my tongue but hallelujah," plays over this, which some have said is a surrender, which is why the singer comes back to this word. Kind of like how Silas sees no other choice than to destroy something while sacrificing himself in the process. On to the next clip. We then see the Amazonian warriors enter the holding place of their Mother Box, along with a brand new look at Steppenwolf's new spiky design. We then get this shot of Cyborg, Wonder Woman and Aquaman. This shot was actually in the original trailer, but notice how the sky here has been changed from the red skies we saw in the Justice League theatrical cut. We then get this very interesting shot of the Flash flickering over these people, maybe members of the Justice League, and here we could be getting our first glimpse of the Flash time traveling, maybe going into different points of the timeline. We then have a shot of a parademon ramming into the Batmobile ridiculously hard, showing how tough they are to kill. And then we get this shot of Black Suit Superman punching Steppenwolf with a shockwave, knocking him back as the music does a slight pause, and then switch to Batman deflecting 3 shots from a parademon. We then get this really amazing shot of Barry, with this giant blue explosion, gusts of wind, and this blue light kind of creating a silhouette around Barry. Snyder did say that in his version, the Speed Force will get a new look, and this is maybe where Barry is as he travels through time. And notice the position he's in going towards the light. This is the exact same position we see him in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice, when he travels back in time to warn Bruce about the future. But there, Barry had a beard and a different type of mask, but it is still a possibility that that is what we are seeing in this scene. Snyder did say that Barry has quantum abilities at the panel, and also said he will be doing something timely. On to the next clip. We then see Clark reunite with Lois and Martha at his childhood home, and then this interesting shot of Victor Stone in his Gotham City University Letterman jacket pushing away a bunch of missiles with a swipe of his hand. Don't really know the context here, but maybe this could be a dream, or we're getting a look inside of Cyborg's mind while he's probably running a simulation. And then we get a shot of Aquaman's ancestor King Atlan in the war I talked about earlier, with the same three-pronged trident that Aquaman will claim later on in his future. A shot of Cyborg saving a cop from the Heroes Park conflict against Superman, which was also in the original trailer. And then this incredible shot of Barry running in the Speed Force, the ground coming up below him with every step, and the lightning just bouncing. Honestly guys, Barry Allen time traveling in the Snyder Cut is probably going to be my favorite part of this film. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to down in the comments below, and let's move on to the next clip. We then get this great team shot of the Justice League, and this scene has actually been changed because in the theatrical cut, it was Superman in his red and blue suit with the team looking out over the destroyed village with weird things popping out of the ground and vegetation growing everywhere. But now in the Snyder cut, we see a black suited Superman and the team looking out at Bruce's airship, which is coming to pick them up. And then the title reveal that hardcore fans like me have been waiting for 3 years. JL, hashtag the Snyder Cut. Onto the final clip.
This guy's probably fought hundreds of thousands of other super beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Not us united.
Ben Affleck kills it as Batman here, and I'm so glad that he's coming back for the Flash film. Now, this scene here kind of emphasizes something that Snyder said during the panel, which was the theme of solitude, and how, on their own, their loneliness defines them, but when they are united, they are strong. Now, there are additional things that Snyder put in his version that Joss Whedon did not, including Martian Manhunter, who, as Snyder revealed, was General Swasnik from Man of Steel, Ryan Choi, aka The Atom, making an appearance at Star Labs, 3 Green Lanterns, Wonder Woman killing Steppenwolf from concept drawings, and Deathstroke breaking Lex out of prison, leading to that end credits scene from the theatrical cut. And even though we have to wait another year, DC fans can rejoice because the mission is complete and the Snyder Cut is finally a reality. Thank you guys so much for watching my breakdown of the Justice League, the Snyder Cut trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications for tomorrow's video where I'll be breaking down the Batman trailer. So, I'll see you then.